When the bulldozers rolled in Jahangirpuri yesterday, the only familiar opposition face on the ground was Brinda Karat. It took 24 hours before prominent members of other political parties in the opposition decided, "Arey, we should also be there." They woke up and they decided to go there. But even that was half-hearted and confused, because once they reached there, they only amplified the absence of their main leaders. Where's Rahul Gandhi? He's abroad. Where's Priyanka Gandhi? She's abroad. Where's Arvind Kejriwal? He's sitting in Bengaluru. And here the opposition parties were busy sniping more at each other than they were at the BJP. Take a look at a day of pathetic political tourism. 24 hours after bulldozers rolled out onto the streets of Jahangirpuri in Delhi, netas started rolling into the demolition hotspot. A day after the massive sparking of full-fledged political showdown. While the CPM's Brinda Karat was the lone political face during the demolition drive on Wednesday, Delhi Congress leaders trooped in soon after the Supreme Court extended the brake on those bulldozers. Ajay Maken, who arrived in the trouble zone and taunted Chief Minister of Delhi Arvind Kejriwal, terming his absence opportunistic.
We have come here to tell the victims that the Congress party is with them. We have come here to tell the people that please don't look it through the prism of religion. The poor people have been subjected to such atrocities.
अब प्रजातंत्र को बुलडोजर के नीचे हर रोज रौंदा जा रहा है। अब संविधान जो है उसके परकच्चे बुलडोजर की चेन के नीचे उड़ाए जा रहे हैं।
The ruling Aam Aadmi Party, which was absent on ground on day one, finally sent a delegation to Jahangirpuri comprising political lightweights. The Aam Aadmi Party had earlier raised eyebrows after blaming what it called Rohingyas, settled by the BJP across India for the riots.
8 साल से देश के अलग-अलग हिस्सों में कहीं बांग्लादेशियों को बसा दिया, कहीं रोहिंग्याओं को बसा दिया। उनकी पूरी गणना कर लीजिए तो पता चल जाएगा कि भाजपा अगला दंगा कहां करवाने वाली है।
Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, after skipping Jahangirpuri and remaining silent for more than a day, made a cryptic riot attack from far off Bengaluru.
पूरे देश में दंगे हो रहे हैं। कौन करा रहा है ये दंगे? कौन सी पार्टी दंगे करा रही है? सारे जानते हैं कौन सी पार्टी दंगे करा रही है। हमें दंगे करने नहीं आते। ऐसे इस देश के लोग नहीं चाहते कि दंगे हो, इस देश के लोग शांति चाहते हैं।
As the opposition continued pussyfooting around Jahangirpuri, the BJP hit back, alleging political tourism by netas.
Even the action taken on illegal encroachments into Hindu and Muslim, this communal mindset of the Congress party is the bane of this country and has been causing the entire situation of communal polarization in this country.
BJP Member of Parliament Pratap Simha even served a dire warning to Muslims indulging in stone-pelting.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದು ಇಷ್ಟೇನೆ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರು ತಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ಧೋರಣೆಯನ್ನು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು ಕಲ್ಲು ಬಿಸಾಡೋ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಡಬೇಕು ಕಲ್ಲು ಬಿಸಾಡ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಬುಲ್ಡೋಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ
With national faces of the opposition largely choosing to avoid Jahangirpuri, is it advantage BJP in the capital? Bureau Report, India Today. Now remember, here on India Today, we've been asking the questions as far as the illegality/legality of what's going on. We've debated and asked questions extensively on the propriety or impropriety of what is going on. We've asked all the big questions about the propriety of sending in bulldozers in an area that is tense. All of those questions, remember, are being asked here on India Today. But on NewsTrack, we are asking the political question. And joining me this evening, we have Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP. He's with me here in the studio. Shehzad, good to see you. Also live with us is Dr. Ajay Kumar, spokesperson of the Congress Party, and Anjali Rai, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Dr. Ajay and Anjali, thank you very much. Good to see the both of you and welcome to this discussion. Dr. Ajay Kumar, I'd like to start this off with you, sir. all this talk about ideology and stop the hate and, all the, very intense emotional comments that have been made by the Congress, it took your party, over 24 hours to react, to wake up to this issue, to actually get there down onto the ground. I mean, your main leader is sitting and posting internet memes from abroad. Why did it take so long for your party to get down there on the ground? I mean, your allies, the people who usually support you, they're all making fun of your party and saying, why haven't you put your money where your mouth is? Why wake up 24 hours later?
No, look, should we have been there yesterday? Yes. Fact of life. I mean, not hiding away from that issues. I mean, I think the Delhi Congress responded today and went there, but I'm totally with you, Shiv, that we should have been there because the fact of life, the fact of the matter is, it's not a Hindu-Muslim issue at all. It's an issue of targeted demolishing of poor people. Because 23% of Delhi are only in planned areas. I don't know which part of Delhi you would be sure, but only 23% of Delhi is planned. The rest of it is illegal.
But Dr. Ajay Kumar, I'm not going to interrupt my guest. I'm not one of those anchors, but I just want to keep this on track. See, we have discussed the legality and illegality of what's going on. It's in court. We've done it at 7 p.m., 6 p.m. We have an extensive number of coverages on that particular issue. I am talking about the opposition parties right now and the BJP, because politically speaking, it's like the BJP has a free run. I'm not commenting on the legality or illegality of what's happening, but to provide some kind of opposition, it looks like the Congress is in sleep mode. Rahul Gandhi, for God's sake, is tweeting memes from abroad.
The first question, if Rahul Gandhi had to be there in Delhi and in Mathura and in Agra, then Modi ji should be there in Korgaon and he should be in Jahangirpuri. So it's
not the same thing. Come on.
First of all, I find it quite obnoxious when you start. It's a Congress party. It has got state presidents. It's got leaders. So let's know. And what is the perennial? Why don't you ask Mr. Modi why is he not in the Jahangirpuri?
We do. We have.
One second.
We actually have. That's what I'm saying.
Are you asking that question?
No.
So this question, please.
Sir, here on India Today, we here on India Today have asked why the Prime Minister hasn't made any comments so far on this spate of communal issues.
You call me on a TV show and you want to speak, you speak.
I am saying, Dr. Ajay Kumar, you're making a wrong assertion.
BJP spokesperson, yeah? Why you don't
just calm down. We have a BJP spokesperson here. I'm not one.
Question is, you call me on a TV show, give me a chance to speak, or you speak.
No, sir,
don't become a spokesperson for the BJP. Why are you not asking? Where's the Prime Minister?
I can't.
Where is Amit Shah? Where is Amit Shah?
No, one second. I can't.
There is a riot in Delhi and where is the Home Minister? Are you asking those questions?
Sir, I have a very noble, decent job. I don't have to become a spokesperson of the BJP, sir. I respect you. I'm not going to get into a tutu meme with you because you're riled up on an issue that is sensitive. Sir, we have asked all those questions. Dr. Ajay Kumar, you're getting unnecessarily rattled because I'm touching a raw nerve. This is a real question.
I'm not getting rattled. Either you let me speak, you call me on the show.
Speak. Don't make personal comments about journalists. Speak, please.
Okay, you are making personal comments on Mr. Gandhi?
It's totally personal. I mean, you are supposed to be the opposition, for God's sake. It's totally personal for every Indian citizen.
No, one second. First question, Shevas, let me complete my statement.
Yes, please.
If you are not asking the question...
Please complete your sentence, then I'll go to Shehzad and Anjali. Please.
Yeah, okay. The fact is, the Home Minister and the capital of India doesn't see it. We are not asking those questions. The Congress party has got the state president, has got the state leaders. We've got different times. Different leaders are engaged at different times. And first of all, the political issue in this riot, which India Today should have been asking was that 70, and it is a political question, not a legality. 73% of Delhi is unplanned.
Why
don't you start with Sanic Farm? Why don't you start?
We have asked that question.
You not do it because it has got the communal and it wants to create behave like a dog whistle. So the first question is...
Dr. Ajay Kumar, we asked those questions. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, quickly finish your point because you're not answering my question. The Sainik Farm, golf links, questions are questions we have asked here, sir. Which channel are you watching? You're not watching India's #1 channel. Come on. We have asked this question.
I am not only watching you, I'm hearing you, and I'm attending your TV show. What does he want?
Okay.
So the question is, one side, opposition, no, one side, the question on opposition, we went to Hathras during the rape, and you guys kept saying, where is the Lakhimpur Keri, we were there.
No,
the
not us,
question
not
is
us.
very convenient when the opposition is, Brinda Karat is, I respect Brinda Karat ji for being there. And I told you in the beginning, we should have been there yesterday. Yes, we should have been there yesterday.
Okay, okay.
But the fact is, the Home Minister should have been during the riots.
That is
Where is the Home Minister of India?
It is totally gracious of you to accept that you should have been there yesterday. Shehzad, you want to answer that? Then I'll go to Anjali. Points raised by Dr. Ajay Kumar.
Absolutely. I have great regard for Dr. Ajay Kumar, and particularly even more now because he exposed Rahul Gandhi in his first sentence. He said that this is not about Muslim or Hindu, but Rahul Gandhi's tweet, and I quote, "This is state-sponsored targeting of poor and minorities." And today Kapil Sibal made the same argument, and he said that Muslims were being targeted, only to be rebuffed by the judge to say that whose illegal encroachments were demolished. The first one, incidentally, as shown by India Today and Aaj Tak, was Gupta Juice Center. The second one was Jha Pan Shop. Therefore, this was not a targeted thing against minorities. In fact, even in Khargone, 88 demolitions that took place were of Hindu establishments. But the problem with the Congress party and with the entire ecosystem is, Shiv, there is a Tushtikaran ka competition. So MIM made a statement.
Competition to appease, you're saying?
Competition to appease. कि कौन दंगाइयों का बड़ा भाईजान बन सकता है. So Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi was leading in the race. So Congress woke up suddenly and said, even though we never went to Karoli, where Mr. Ajay Maken is the in charge of Rajasthan and Matloob Ahmed is still on the run, we have to reach Jahangirpuri for vote bank politics. And then the Aam Aadmi party said that how can we stay behind, because Ansar hai to वैसे हमारा ही बंदा है. Ansar is our man, so we have to come in his defense, like they came in defense of Tahir Hussain. You remember Amanullah Khan said that he was a Muslim, therefore he was targeted. By the way, on the Rohingya point, my dear friend Anjali will speak now. You know, in 28...
Shehzad, I want to get to the Rohingya point in part 2.
Yes, I want to make that point.
I'll get you back to that point. I'll get Anjali in. Quick response first from Dr. Ajay Kumar on Shehzad saying this is an appeasement competition. It's like an appeasement sweepstakes. Dr. Ajay Kumar, respond to that. Says it's nothing else. That's why you've woken up late. Asaduddin Owaisi kind of galvanized you guys into getting down there.
No. The question is, isn't it getting sick that we continue to rub the most?
But I want to...
I'm coming to you, Anjali. Coming to you, 30 seconds.
One second. Either you ask me to answer the question.
Please.
People interfere.
Nobody's...
interrupt Shehzad. I'm not going to interrupt you.
He's not. Nobody's interrupting, sir. Nobody's interrupting. Please complete your point quickly.
Thank you very much, sir. First question is, which India are we looking at? It's not a question of minority appeasement. It's not a question of going in their defense. What is demolishing without legal process? If it was a Hindu shop or a Muslim shop or a Parsi shop is the question first. Second issue is, since the majority of the people who are being victim of this bulldozing happen to be people who belong to the poor and the minority community, is not appeasement. The third is that when we continuously go in religious procession with their children shouting abuses, getting into mosque and putting flags, that's not the Hinduism I know.
Okay.
It is the RSS.
You're making a bigger point, sir.
And the danger for this country, for the Hindus, is the RSS.
Okay.
The RSS Hinduism is what is threatening.
15 seconds.
15 seconds.
Anjali is waiting.
We don't use box
she has to wait patiently. She is in line.
Okay.
Quick
reply.
Now, Mr. Ajay Kumar, you can't bulldoze my time and you can't encroach upon my time. Don't be a guspet on my time. No, wait, 1 second.
Go ahead, Shehzad. Sorry,
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you. Apology taken. Now, sir, you have exposed Rahul Gandhi again by saying it's not about Hindu-Muslim. So first, tell Rahul Gandhi to delete that minorities tweet. Point number 2, you tell me no law process was followed. Okay? Sir, on Khargone happened on 11th of April. None of your worthy lawyers approached the Madhya Pradesh High Court till 21st. I ask you that there is a Delhi Municipal Corporation Act and there's a 2010 judgment which says, Justice Dhingra says that on public land, when there's an encroachment, no notice is required, even though in this case notices were given. But I ask you, Ajay Kumar, tomorrow you decide I want to open a mutton shop in front of, on AIMS flyover. You think they will go to court to remove your encroachment of the mutton shop? That's not how it works. The law works on its own way. There is a provision in the Corporation Act, Section 130, 163, 348, 368, 1, 2, 3, 4, Redwick 2010 judgment. This is the law.
I don't want, okay, one second. I just want to... Dr. Ajay Kumar, with your permission, sir.
Lies on a TV channel.
Let me.
What lies have I said? Your Rahul Gandhi has tweeted about minorities. Kapil Sibal said Muslim ke khilaf hua. Have I lied? You tell Rahul Gandhi stop lying. Let Rahul Gandhi to stop lying.
You have Mr. Rahul Gandhi's ghost. Talk to Amit Shah if you have any courage. Why is he not there at the riot?
Why should Amit Shah has not communalized between Hindus and Muslims? Rahul Gandhi said it's a targeting of poor and minorities. You just said it's not about Hindus and Muslims. Didn't he just say that?
Well, he did, and Rahul Gandhi had tweeted. Okay,
I'll show you the tweet, sir. You don't read his tweets, I do.
And there hasn't been any tweet after that. Okay, I want to. There is a discrepancy. Okay, Dr. Ajay Kumar, Anjali Rai of the Aam Aadmi Party is also here. I don't want to make it just about between the BJP and the Congress. The Aam Aadmi Party is the party that rules Delhi. Anjali, your party, the Congress is calling your party opportunistic. Let's just start with that. You know, in the middle of this entire political crossfire, there's also a very intense crossfire between your party and the Congress, where they are saying that you guys are the biggest opportunists. Your biggest faces have not come there. You've made comments about Bangladeshis and Rohingyas. Arvind Kejriwal is busy in Bengaluru. Some second, third rung leaders have finally showed up, you know, after an afterthought. How would you respond to that? Then we'll get the BJP also in.
I would like to answer all the questions.
Yes.
First of all, Shehzad said that Ansar is our man. I want to ask him, Ansar, the main culprit behind the violence which took place on 16th of April, this man
but let's not get into the Ansar issue, but let's not tangent into that.
This. So I have to start this.
Specific.
He started this.
Yeah.
So Ansar was carrying on his scrap business in 2.5 acres of MCD land, which is ruled by BJP, you know, and he was working there in connivance with BJP, and he had built 5-storied house in that area. But BJP didn't take any action against this illegal encroachment on MCD land or did not demolish his house. So definitely he was in connivance with BJP.
Now answer the question.
Now second
enough
thing,
about Ansar.
You were asking me that why didn't Kejriwal ji go there?
Congress is asking you. I'm not asking.
Okay, I want to say that you should ask BJP people and the BJP state president that instead of appeasing scared and hurt people of Jahangirpuri, why did he write a letter to the mayor ordering him to start the demolition drive in Jahangirpuri?
But
Jahangirpuri
But that's not answering my question, madam. I'm sorry, that's not answering my question. Your party is in power in Delhi. The question I am asking you is, why does the opposition seem so half-hearted? Why does it seem so half-hearted? It seems like you're not going all out.
We are not half-hearted.
Your biggest leaders are not there. They were not there on the day this thing was happening. They seem to be they seem to be a little skittish about identifying what's going on. Atishi and Raghav Chadda says Bangladeshis and Rohingyas are the reason for what's going on. You know, the people who admire your party are saying that you are demonizing Muslims and playing to the right-wing gallery as well. So all of these allegations are also being made. Instead of being there in full force as an opposition party, it seems like you are being half-hearted, and the Congress says you are being opportunistic. Respond to that specific point.
No, we are not at all opportunistic. We are with a common man, whether he is a Hindu or a Muslim. And the action demolition drive which took place has heard both the communities, Hindus and Muslims, and it was carried out very illegally. This new politics which has started in India is very scary, and it is not bulldozing only the houses and shops of people. It is bulldozing the entire constitutional system of India. So one should criticize this, and BJP should know that people are very intelligent and they understand that they want to divide the society. And the way they are politicizing everything. Few days back, BJP hooligans, they went into CM's house. They attacked his house and breached the security. And the same Mr. Adesh Gupta, when these people came back from the jail, he called them in the BJP office and honored him. What is this happening? They want to give a message, they want to instill fear in hearts of people and give this message that
just as a caveat, before I get Shehzad to answer, we had a show here in India Today, I'll send it to all of you, about where we collated all these incidents, polarizing incidents from across the country. about, whether there's a national pattern. So I want to repeat and tell all of our viewers and tell all of our guests that, in India today, we don't take sides. We are a channel that's very fair, and all of you will definitely agree with me. Shehzad, you want to reply to what Anjali said?
Yes.
She said something about both you as well as the Congress. First to Shehzad, then to Dr. Ajay.
First of all, she said bulldozing the constitutional system. Here is Tahir Hussain. Entire world showed what was there on his terrace. UAPA was put on him by Delhi police. And Amatullah Khan, here's the news report. No, this is not fair. This is not fair.
Anjali, let him finish. I'll come back to both of you so our viewers can hear you.
I heard both of these people. It's 2 versus 1. I'm hearing them and I'm answering them. Amatullah Khan said that because Tahir Hussain is a Muslim, he is being punished. I hope that those who respect the constitution will tell me right now by the end of the show what action they will take on Amatullah Khan. Point number 2, they have pulled out the Garib card. When Shaheen Bagh happened and the Supreme Court said Shaheen Bagh was completely illegal, you know how many thousands of people, mostly Garib people, lost their livelihoods? But these people both supported it. Anyways, third, they said it's achanak. Your channel showed that 200 demolitions took place from January to April. Koi gaya nahi wahan pe khade rehne ke liye, because they all knew it was as per law. But just when there was a time that after the danga, there was a demolition drive, and because somebody has taken part in danga, should we let him go because of vote bank politics? Then they started going because they have to play the vote bank card. And last point, on Rohingya point, very important. Dear Anjali ji, point number 1, in 2018, when there was a fire in the Rohingya Basti, it was Amatullah Khan who went there and said, we will give you food, Civil Supplies Department will give you food, 25,000 compensations are announced. In 2020, the Delhi High Court was told by Delhi government, we are providing adequate rations to the Rohingyas. This is a report of 2021 when the Uttar Pradesh government tried to remove the Rohingyas from its land in Delhi in Madanpur Khadar. Mr. Amatullah Khan wrote against it, told them not to do it, and also it was his use of his illegal connections of water and electricity by which they were placed there. This is as per the Dainik Bhaskar and other reports, including India Today. And finally, fourth, when the Indian government has said that they are an internal security, national security threat for Rohingyas, you can check that out. It was Amatullah Khan who said that, "Arey, ye to majroom hai. What threat can they pose?" And that report is also there.
There's also
this is the statement of Amatullah Khan that Rohingyas are not an internal security threat. I'm telling Anjali. So one last point. But if Rohingyas are behind this, as she's saying, and they are with us apparently, I challenge Anjali to say that NRC should be done and Rohingyas should be thrown out, and their electricity and water connections will be cut by the Delhi government by tonight. Tell me, Anjali.
Quick response from Anjali, then I'll go to Dr. Ajay.
Both the questions, Tahir Hussain and Rohingyas.
The reason, the reason for this, Anjali, is because your senior leaders, 2 MLAs, 2 senior leaders, Raghav Chadha, Atishi, have come out and made this about Rohingyas and Bangladeshis. And many people who traditionally support the Aam Aadmi Party in civil society have said this is a terrible thing to do. They say that you are demonizing Muslims, you are making this a Bangladeshi issue, and this is a cop-out by the Aam Aadmi Party.
See, according to my opinion, criminal is a criminal, whether he is a Rohingya or whether he is a Muslim or a Hindu. He should be punished. And talking about deportation of Rohingyas, the matter is pending in the court. Everybody knows. We can't do that.
No. Nobody's spoken about deportation. Your MLA did not allow them to be removed from Uttar Pradesh government land in Delhi. You do know that in Madanpur Khadar, Uttar Pradesh government has 5.2 acres land of the irrigation department. When 53 families were removed from that because they're illegally occupying it, Amatullah Khan stood there and said, we will give you tenements, we will give you food, we will give you accommodation. Please tell me you will cut the water and power connections of these illegal Rohingyas by tonight, and what action will you take on Amatullah Khan who defended Tahir Hussain? Specific question, Shalini. Don't prevaricate like Mr. Kejriwal. Don't prevaricate.
Let Anjali answer.
Answer the question.
Yeah. See, humanity is an essential attribute of all the human beings. If somebody is living in Delhi,
your leader said that Rohingyas are doing riots, and you are saying we should be humanitarian. No, they are an internal security threat. Point blank, Indian government says so. Do you believe they are an internal security threat? Yes or no? Do you believe Rohingyas are an internal security threat? Yes or no?
Okay.
Yes or no? Point blank.
You can't give generalized statement. All Rohingyas can't be bad.
You should play Aam Aadmi Party's Raghav Chadha statement.
It's his opinion.
We have Atishi and Raghav's comments. We'll just pull those out for a moment. I'll get you to answer that.
Atishi said
Dr. Ajay is waiting.
They said that
Dr. Ajay, wait, I'm coming to you.
Just
Anjali, 10 seconds, finish your point. Anjali, that's not what your leaders are saying.
Then we are here in this.
Are Atishi and Raghav wrong? No, ma'am, are Atishi and Raghav wrong?
I'm going to ask for when the Atishi and Raghav bites are ready, I'm going to play them out.
If Rohingyas are responsible, then then BJP government should be blamed.
If Rohingyas are responsible, but Atishi and Raghav said they are.
I'll play this out. I'll play this out in a moment. Dr. Ajay Kumar, what do you think about the Aam Aadmi Party making this about Bangladeshis and Rohingyas? Because that is the headline that has come out from the Aam Aadmi Party. Your party has called the Aam Aadmi Party opportunistic. You've attacked them quite a bit in the last 36 hours. What do you say about this chief comment that has been made?
There are a couple of things which Anjali ji should recognize. That the Arvind Kejriwal ji and the whole Aam Aadmi Party has miserably failed the people of Delhi, not once, twice, thrice, many times, and especially during the riots. Forget communities. The chief minister not being available for relief measures and all this matter of being a nationalist and all is a fraud. Second issue is, if I come on the TV channel and say Shahzada is a Rohingya, you just, suppose I say this, there will be so much of disruption, Shahzada will abuse me, people on the TV channel, but that's what we are doing in India. I can stand up and say, you are a Bangladeshi Shahzada just because you're a Muslim. Isn't there a process in this country to recognize, identify? And whether it is Aam Aadmi Party, I want to come on the national television and say, Mr. Shahzada is a Rohingya now. Will you do anything? Just because he's got a Muslim, he's a Muslim.
So but you're commenting on what the Aam Aadmi Party says.
One sec. You continue to target the people of this country by using dog whistles.
But that's what the Aam Aadmi Party has said, sir.
I saw Mr. Sanjay Singh's interview. And Anjali ji, please tell that, I have never seen a government which doesn't put bombs on the people. Forget BJP, forget Congress. You are the government in Delhi and you want to behave like a dog whistle because you think it is politically useful. Where is your spine? Where is the leadership? And where is the integrity which you guys keep tom-tomming? I want to tell Mr. Punewala, it's very easy to say Rohingyas. I'll come on TV and say every Muslim and make allegations. That is what you guys are doing.
I want to play out that bite first.
You have and Amit Shah is responsible. There's a home minister who doesn't do his job and continues to call every Muslim in this country a Rohingya and Bangladesh.
As far as government action is concerned,
where has the Home Minister of India, where has the Home Minister of India called every Muslim a Rohingya and a Bangladeshi? That statement should be struck off the record and he should be asked to publicly apologize or prove his point. I challenge him to prove that the Home Minister of India, one of the greatest leaders that this country has seen as a Home Minister, said that every Muslim in this country is a Rohingya or a Bangladeshi. If the Congress Party is going to use your platform to spread lies, I am not going to accept it. No, Ajay Kumar, you prove that statement, or you will apologize for it. You will apologize for it if you don't prove that statement. You bring that statement out. Bring that statement out. You will not get away with this. You will not get away by lying blatantly. Your leader lies, your lawyers in court lie. You will not get away when you're sitting with me on this debate show, when you say that the Home Minister said this. The Home Minister said no such thing. Yes, the Home Minister says that those who infiltrate our country and your party has allowed that infiltration to take place. Your party does not want CA and RC. Your party has a soft heart for these kinds of people so that you can have vote bank politics. Those people who are like termites sucking upon resources that belong to Indians, Hindus and Muslims, those people are indeed
as it turns out. Let me jump back in. I don't want emotions to run too high. I know this is a sensitive issue. As it turns out, just by way of clarification, the only two people I know in this entire issue, I'm not talking about in general, I'm not talking about 6 months ago, the only two people in the last 24 hours who've used the word Rohingyas and Bangladeshis are Atishi and Raghav Chadha. I just want to play that out for you. It's not the BJP. Whatever else the BJP has said before, I'm talking about the issue right now. Let's not go into all that. We'll have to verify and look at things. Shehzad says nothing of like this kind has ever been said. Just listen to this.
They said Bangladeshis, the BJP said Bangladeshis. Yes or no?
Dr. Ajay Kumar, let's just listen to these bites. You can say what you want of that. Let's just play this out for context for our viewers. Let's just play it out. Here's what Raghav Chadha and Atishi said.
8 साल से देश के अलग-अलग हिस्सों में कहीं बांग्लादेशियों को बसा दिया, कहीं रोहिंग्याओं को बसा दिया. उनकी पूरी गणना कर लीजिए तो पता चल जाएगा कि भाजपा अगला दंगा कहां करवाने वाली है.
पिछले 8 सालों में भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने जगह जगह पूरे देश में सबसे ज्यादा तादाद में बांग्लादेशी और रोहिंग्यास को बसाया है। इसलिए बसाया है भाजपा ने कि उनका इस्तेमाल कर कर दंगे कराए जाएं। अगर आपको यह जानना है कि भाजपा अगला दंगा कहां प्लान करने जा रही है, किस स्तर का प्लान करने जा रही है, तो आप भाजपा को बोलें कि कहां कहां इन्होंने बांग्लादेशी और रोहिंग्यास को बसाया है, उसकी सूची दे दें।
ये कौन सी बात आप पार्टी कर रही है? उनके लोग कह रहे हैं कि वहां पर बांग्लादेशी और रोहिंग्या हैं। इनको क्या गरीबी नजर नहीं आ रही? भारत के नागरिक हैं पूरे के पूरे वो।
You know, Anjali, the topic of this debate was the opposition speaking in different voices and sniping each other, and the, so kind of political tourism that's going on in Jahangirpuri. But I just played out those two sound bites by your two leaders because it is completely the opposite of the sentiment that you are expressing here. It seems like your top leaders, apart from Arvind Kejriwal, who made a very cryptic tweet about riots and stuff earlier today from Bengaluru, the basic message from Aam Aadmi Party is, this is almost like dog whistling. As Dr. Ajay Kumar said, this is an example of dog whistling when you're talking about Rohingyas and Bangladeshis in the context of what's happening in Jahangirpuri. How is this different from what you accuse the BJP of?
See, Raghav and Atishi said this because all these BJP people were accusing us कि हमारी वजह से रोहिंग्यास यहाँ पर बस गए हैं, जबकि हम लोगों को तो 7 साल से हुए हैं यहाँ पर आए, और they were in MCD, they are there for 15 years. और अगर वो एनक्रोचमेंट कर रहे थे, अगर वो वहां बस रहे थे, तो इनके बिना मंजूरी के वो नहीं बस सकते थे यहाँ पर। तो अगर इनको पहले ही वहां से हटा देना चाहिए था, क्यों उनको बसने दिया? अगर इनको ये लगता है कि यही लोग दंगा करते हैं, यही सब गलत काम करते हैं,
But how is that the issue here? I mean, it's bizarre how has that become the frontal issue? Shehzad, you want to answer that?
You just heard the Aam Aadmi Party official spokesperson say we should be humane towards Rohingyas, and you heard Raghav say a completely different thing. And by the way, Congress Party spokesperson, before lecturing me about rights of Muslims, Ahmedabad 1969, Jalgaon 70, Moradabad 1980, Delhi 83, Bhiwandi 84, Delhi 84, Ahmedabad 85, Delhi, Bhagalpur 89, Mumbai 1993. By the way, the Shiv Sena was involved in those riots. 10,000 people, including a lot of Muslims, 3,500 Sikhs died. You were the ones in power then, and today you come and say that Muslims are being called something by the Home Minister of India. So see your own track record. And please tell me who did these riots.
Don't have some sense. लगातार झूठ बोलते रहते हो यार.
लगातार झूठ बोल रहे हो. Mumbai riot 1993, Shiv Sena was accused by you, sir. Rajdeep is in the studio, you can ask him.
We are almost out of time. Ajay Kumar, I want to ask you one last question, and this is a
गुजरात के दंगे के बारे में बात कीजिए.
Slightly bigger question.
आ गए गुजरात.
At a time like this, last couple of questions. Last couple of questions. Dr. Ajay Kumar, everyone calm down, please. Last couple of questions. At a time like this, emotive issue, an issue that, has raised the hackles, most people feel very strongly about it. Why is there no opposition unity on this one issue as well? Even in this issue, Dr. Ajay Kumar, you and the Aam Aadmi Party are spending so much political energy sniping at each other, attacking each other on an issue where one would imagine that you feel the same way.
So did you ask the BJP this question when they were in opposition? Why didn't they tie up with the communists?
Arey, come on, sir. We ask everyone questions, sir. Come on.
I'm amazed with the sorry for the lack of intelligence in the question. Did you ask Mr. Advani why didn't he tie up with the communists when we were in power? Why don't you tie up with this? They are a political opponent.
What kind of silly theoretical answer is that, sir? Why don't you just answer the question I'm asking you?
BJP's BT.
We're talking about the present. We're talking about the opposition's potency right now.
BJP now, the country is seeing it.
How does it matter what Advani did? How does that matter to this debate?
No,
look at where you are right now and look at where the BJP is.
Not tying up with Aam Aadmi Party.
And ironically, they've tied up with the Shiv Sena, whom they called communal, the most communal once upon a time. You are tied up with them. They didn't even sign your letter to the nation.
Can you ask these questions?
Okay, you fight with the media. Aam Aadmi fights with the Rohingyas. We are fighting for the nation. That's the truth of this matter.
I'm going to end this.
Mr. Shehzada Poonawalla on this show continues to deal in untruths. I want to ask him a question. If we come on a TV channel and say that he's a Rohingya or Bangladeshi, that's what you continue. You are
Sir, when we call Yaqub a terrorist, you feel it's an attack on Muslims. That's your problem. APJ Abdul Kalam is a Muslim that you should be proud of. Not Yaqub Memon and Afzal Guru. That's your problem, sir. You don't get it. You don't get it.
This debate has gone into a completely separate, unsavory orbit, which I want to drag it back from. And our time is up. Our time is up. The time for this is over. Dr. Ajay Kumar, you've called me stupid, not answering the right questions. BJP spokesperson, I have a great deal of respect for you, sir. So I cannot share the same sentiment back at you. Of course, all of these things said in the theme of a debate. But Shehzad, Anjali and Dr. Ajay Kumar, thank you very much. Always a pleasure discussing. Things get heated always when it comes to political issues, especially when it comes to provocative issues like this one. We will continue to ask those questions and debate them here on India Today.